folks, welcome back to Indaba Africa. This is Chris once again. Hey folks, welcome back to Chris White Reports for this astronomy, space and astronomy segment here. It's time for another SpaceX launch on the Falcon 9 rocket system with a Crew Dragon, this time a crewed mission to the International Space Station. Historic, first ever entirely private venture. There are no government astronauts. There are no civilians or military personnel who are part of any government on this mission. Entirely private enterprise mission from start to finish here. The only government involvement here is use of Cape Canaveral, Launch Pad 39 Alpha in Florida. That's about it, folks, and coordination of security with Cape Canaveral, the Kennedy Space Center. That's about it. This is a private launch, and we're waiting for it to get started here. Axiom Space, a space company, yet another one out there in the very busy ecosphere of space exploration companies. Axiom, this is the first crew launch. They're going to the International Space Station where they'll spend 8 days, and we'll get started on that. We are down to 24 minutes, 43 seconds before launch. This is an interesting looking launch vessel here. Let me get it up on the screen there very quickly. There we go. 24 minutes, 34 seconds until launch. It's already loading the cryo, and so it's coming up here shortly, not far away. But let me give you some updates on this, folks. Axiom Space announced their crew back in January for the first human all private sector individuals for low Earth orbit destination. Yep. The mission is AX-1, Axiom Mission 1. It'll consist of former NASA astronaut, Axiom Vice President Michael Lopez Alegria as a commander, American entrepreneur, nonprofit activist, investor Larry Connor is the pilot, Canadian investor and philanthropist Mark Pathy, and impact investor and philanthropist Eitan Stiba from Israel. Now, Lopez Alegria flew to space 4 times over a 20-year period at NASA, and last visited the International Space Station back in 2007. So it's been a while since he's been there. He became the first person ever to command both a civil and a commercial human space flight. And Connor will be the first private mission pilot in the annals of spaceflight. Isn't that cool? Pathy will be Canada's 11th astronaut, and Steve, a close personal friend of Columbia astronaut Ilan Ramon, a former Israeli Air Force pilot, will be the second. Ilan Ramon, of course, isn't he the gentleman who died in the previous shuttle disaster? So former NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson will serve as the backup commander, while John Schofner in Knoxville, Tennessee is the backup mission pilot. Mission will include crew living aboard the U.S. segment International Space Station for 8 days. They'll be doing research and philanthropic projects. So there you go, folks. We're down to T-minus 23 at T-minus 22:55 before launch from Launch Pad 39 Alpha at the Kennedy Space Center. Don't forget, this is a SpaceX mission. It is a collaboration effort by SpaceX and Axiom. So this is all private venture, Here we go. Put myself back on the screen there. There you go, folks. So yeah, it's a reusable. This is Winding Turtle. This is SpaceX. The mission, the crew are from Axiom, but the launch vehicle is a Falcon 9 rocket, although it looks different than we're accustomed to seeing the way it's put together there, with a Crew Dragon capsule. The Crew Dragon, of course, is the one that's taken NASA astronauts to the International Space Station previously. So it is a SpaceX mission, but it's in collaboration with Axiom Space. So there you go. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Let's see what we got there. Teresa, Wolf K, Uncle Duncan Shack, Gus is here, Wandering Turtle, Sylvester Celine. Hey, Sylvester, I hope you're doing better today. No kaboom, America. We don't want a kaboom here. There's human beings on this flight. That's the last thing we want to see is kaboom here. About 20 minutes away from launch now, folks. We come up on the top of the 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time hour. Look at that really cool, sexy mission control room back there. That's Dan Hout, NASA Communications. Let me put him on.
On behalf of the combined ISS team to the SpaceX mission director, just saying that ISS, or the space station, was go for launch. Now, to get there, we've got a list of flight rules, basically just guidelines for all of the major systems we have to make sure are functioning onboard station before we can give a go to launch another crew up there. So we're looking at everything from
They're prepping for the launch. Sorry about that. Let's just turn the mic off. About 21 minutes left before launch. They're getting the final preparations and clearances to go. Today, I'm rather wearing a rugby jersey. I thought I'd wear kind of a NASA 1960s Apollo program sort of, geek sort of shirt. Look at this thing. I got the little short sleeve here. The only thing I'm not wearing is a tie, so that's in honor of the mission control crews back in the day. Today, they wear a little more colorful outfits there. We see shirts and ladies in there, which we didn't see before. But anyway, so that's in recognition of that. What a cool-looking control center they got. They got the International Space Station people up there on the left-hand side. You can see that. You can see the flight paths across the globe in the center there. Off on the right-hand side, you see the actual launch vehicles. It's prepping to go. And I'm not really sure what that little clock-like thing is, but anyway. So, yeah, we are coming up on the launch here shortly, folks. But let me continue on with updates about this particular mission. So Connor, who founded and led organizations in real estate, financial technology, and nonprofit sectors, collaborates with the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic on research projects. He also intends to provide instructional lessons to students at Dayton's Early College Academy in his hometown of Dayton, Ohio. Pathy, the Canadian, is collaborating with the Canadian Space Agency as well as Montreal's Children's Hospital, who are helping to identify health-related research projects that could be done during this mission. So hopefully they've settled on those. Stibbe plans to conduct scientific experts of Israeli researchers and entrepreneurs coordinated by the Ramon Foundation, the Israeli Space Agency. Yep, they want to put together a crew for a historic mission that demonstrate a lifelong commitment to improving the lives of people on Earth. And Axiom Space President and CEO Michael Sufaretti says they've done just that. This is just the first of several Axiom Space crews whose private missions to the International Space Station will truly inaugurate an expansive future for humans in space and make the meaningful difference in the world when they return home. Cool. Cool. This is Axiom Space's precursor private astronaut missions, subject to approval by NASA and its international partners. Yep. Houston-based Axiom intends to offer private and national astronaut flights to the International Space Station at a rate of up to 2 a year to align with flight opportunities as they're made available by NASA, while simultaneously constructing its own privately funded space station. So now you understand why Axiom is involved in this. They're going to build their own private space station. The Axiom station modules will be attached to the Harmony node of the ISS beginning as early as 2024, a commercial expansion of the orbiting lab for which NASA selected Axiom back in January of 2020. We're down to less than 20 minutes now for the launch here, folks. And Launchpad 39 Alpha at the Kennedy Space Center there in Florida. When the International Space Station retires, the Axiom Station components will separate and become the world's first free-flying, privately developed, internationally available space station. Wow, isn't that cool? That's what the plan is there, folks. That's what the plan. Now, Axiom was founded back in 2016 with a vision of a thriving home in space that benefits humans everywhere. Building and launching the Axiom segment of the International Space Station one day be the world's first free-flying commercial space station. They'll provide access to the International Space Station now through their coordinated efforts and joint venture with SpaceX, conducting full-service end-to-end crew missions and professional and private astronauts. There you go, folks. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So there's Houston. That's Axiom's headquarters. See a big crowd of looky-loos outside the glass staring through, trying to get their tourism view. What a lousy camera there. They've got some crappy camera work there. But that is the Houston-based. So let me bring up the crew here, folks. I didn't really get this ready. I do have an image here of the crew. We are about 15 minutes away here from this launch. Let me get the Axiom crew up here. I've got the image, and I'll tell you about these folks. Here they go. There we go. That is the crew right there. Okay. Michael Lopez Alegria, a former NASA astronaut, Larry Connor, Etienne Stibbe from Israel, and Mark Pathy from Canada. So commander, pilot, 2 mission specialist. There you go, folks. An American/Spaniard, an American, an Israeli, and a Canadian. What? No black women? Maybe they couldn't identify gender in space. That's the Axiom crew, folks. Should put the whole ANC government into a rocket and send them to the next galaxy. I think send them to Jupiter. All right, so the astronauts are already, everybody gets to space because it's called astronaut. They're already on board. You can see them in the Crew Dragon capsule on the left-hand image, and on the right is the crew inside there sitting. You can see the Atlantic Ocean just outside there, outside Cape Canaveral, the Kennedy Space Center, where I was at last month, folks. You can go back and watch some of those videos. Pretty cool video when I showed you the the Atlantis, the shuttle Atlantis, which is now housed at the Kennedy Space Center. Pretty cool stuff. Who stole your chat, Fleshin? When we get to T-minus 15, I'll make the mark. And when we get to 10, I'll turn the audio back on. We'll listen to the announcers from there. And I'll turn it on and off as we go, folks. Remember, this is a Falcon 9 rocket with a Crew Dragon capsule on top. That's all SpaceX. The company who is responsible for the astronauts going to space is Axiom Space, started back in 2016. A relatively recent entry into the space business. I guess we should call it space industry, space business. I guess that's what we should call it there. Space sector, maybe. Maybe that's what we call it. Here we go. This is the founder there. I'll just get that in a second. So T-minus 15 now.
Of many beginnings, right? The launch of AX-1, going to International Space Station as part of our journey to build the first private commercial space station. And we're so grateful to be here and delighted at this moment as part of this incredible journey to commercialize and privatize low Earth orbit.
Where the black
On behalf of Cam and I, we'd like to thank the entire team that's made this historic journey possible. The SpaceX team in particular has done a tremendous job of prepping our crew for a launch on their transportation vehicle. The crew itself has done a fantastic job of getting themselves ready and planning their research. NASA, of course, we can't do this without NASA's leadership and support. And to each of you in the Axiom Space family, we couldn't have done it without you. We're looking forward to a bright future together.
Well, all right.
T-minus 14 minutes, 7 seconds, and continuing to count down. Everything is still looking good for launch of Falcon 9 and Dragon.
14. T-minus 14, folks. So we got a lot of timelines here for the mission as things go up. The crew was woken up 8 hours and 40 minutes prior to mission launch. So they've been up since 2:37 this morning, Eastern Standard Time. Launch readiness brief was at 5:47. Crew handoff to SpaceX from Axiom was at 7:12 this morning. Crew weather brief was at 7:27. Crew walkout 8:12. They arrived at the pad at 8:22, 3 hours before launch. The hatch was closed at 9:22, which puts them in there 2 hours prior to launch. Liquid oxygen's just begun loading. About 2 minutes ago, they started loading liquid oxygen. So 11:17 a.m. is liftoff. Reach max Q 1 minute and 2 seconds later. That's maximum stress on the launch vehicle. At 11:18:13, first stage main engine cutoff for MECO will occur at 2 minutes 35 seconds in. The first and second stages will separate 4 seconds later. Second stage burn begins at 2:46, 7 seconds after that. Second stage engine cutoff is about a minute plus later at 8:48. First stage landing burn 9:02. First stage landing at 9:29. Dragon separates from the second stage at 12 minutes and 7 seconds. And then the Dragon nose cone open sequence begins at 12:55. So we'll stick with this for about 15 minutes after launch, which means we'll be back on here for at least another half hour, folks, on the broadcast. So those are the sequence of events coming up on this mission. Just over 12 minutes left before launch. There are no women, there are no black women involved in this launch. It's probably a diversity disaster here. 12 minutes, T-minus 12 minutes and counting. The weather's a go. Beautiful clear skies in Cape Canaveral in Florida there, folks. Absolutely lovely. Launch pad 39 Alpha. No issues being reported with the mission at this stage. Looking good, looking good. Everything is green. Now, Axiom is signed with SpaceX to provide the launch capability to get them into their space. Oh, look at that side of that capsule. Can you see that? You see like some plastic just flapping in the wind. That's a little disconcerting. What's that all about? Ooh. Final instructions to the crew will come at T-minus 10. This is a Falcon 9 Block 5 launch vehicle. As I said, it's from the Launch Complex 39 Alpha. That capsule is the Crew Dragon Endeavour capsule. Yep, it previously went into space with the Crew Dragon Demo 2 and the SpaceX Crew 2. So it's its third mission up there. Also on the rocket, you can see some scorch marks because the rocket is reused. All part of the concept that Elon Musk came up with here. We're approaching 10 minutes before launch here, folks. And you can see the power cable still attached there. But look at the side of that capsule, the Crew Dragon capsule, just above the power cable. It's like a piece of white tape over it, man. That's pretty scary there. Yeah, no trans, no women, no LGBT brigade, racist flying dildo. Indeed. It's a racist flying dildo. Ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching 10 minutes. All is green. All systems go for this launch from Cape Canaveral, Launch Pad 39 Alpha. Humans into space, the first ever fully private space mission. The company responsible for the mission to providing the crew is Axiom Space, and the launch company is SpaceX. No government personnel involved. T-minus 10. Confirming configure for launch.
SpaceX Endeavour, we confirm they're configured.
Copy MLA, and on behalf of the entire SpaceX team, we're honored to have you aboard Endeavour for its third flight to the International Space Station. Axiom 1 marks a new step in commercial spaceflight and research. We wish you a great mission, good luck, Godspeed, and enjoy the ride.
Well, there we go. Here we go, folks.
Got a few to let my crewmate Eitan say it first, though.
שלום. כמה ימים לפני שאנחנו מציינים את המסע הגדול שלנו לחירות, and a few minutes before launching on this journey, I wish to share with you the words of the Greek poet Constantine Cavafy that well describe the perspective of our marvelous crew. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you are destined for, but do not hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years. So you are old by the time you reach the island, wealthy with all you have gained on the way, not expecting Ithaca to make you rich. Ithaca gave you this marvelous journey. בהצלחה X1, בהצלחה רקיע.
Thank you, Eitan. I'm going to continue far less elegantly or eloquently, but as we sit here on the precipice of this new era in human spaceflight, we do so on the shoulders of professionals at SpaceX, NASA, and Axiom. We want to thank all the teams at SpaceX, Falcon 9, Dragon, the launch team, of course, closeout team, all of the folks in mission control, and of course our training teams. With NASA, boy, it's been tough. The first time was always hard, and there's no playbook. It's all open field running, but with ISS program, commercial LEO development, and flight operations, we've learned a lot, and we'll continue to do so. We want to thank Cam and Seth for their vision, but especially all the people at Axiom for putting this mission together with the amount of miracles that they perform. All of you, make no mistake, are the men and the women in the arena. Your faces are marred, if metaphorically, by the dust, sweat, and blood, and you strive valiantly. You will have no place with their cold and timid souls.
Engine chill in just moments away, folks.
The crew of the great ship Endeavour is ready to sail her proudly, Arthur.
There you go. Okay, that was enough of that nonsense. The Israeli and the commander both giving their thoughts. And so we're just moments away now, T-minus 7 minutes and counting for this SpaceX Falcon 9 Crew Dragon launch.
Some heartfelt words there.
Stage 1, engine chill has started.
Engine chill has started, folks.
All right, so there was the call that...
All right, we'll turn her back off. We don't need to hear her. We are down to less than 7 minutes to launch here, folks. Falcon 9, Launch Pad 39 Alpha, Kennedy Space Center. It's an amazing time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. An absolutely amazing time to be alive. We're getting these launches every few weeks now. It's absolutely amazing. We used to have to wait a year or 10 months to see another Apollo launch. But now we're getting these manned space flights every couple of months. It's unbelievable. Exciting stuff. It's what private enterprise, innovation, free market brings you this sort of thing. You don't get this from governments. Yes, I know the Soviet Union and the United States and China all had space programs, but China's space program, please spare me. Spacesuits make them think of Imperial stormtroopers. Thank you to 24 folks who are here watching the program. Really appreciate your support for the program. Thanks for tuning in and joining us today. Be sure to smash that like button. It's right down below the screen there. It costs you nothing but a moment of your time.
That was easy.
There you go, folks. About 5.5 minutes left before lunch. 24 likes already, 24 viewers. That's 100% of the audience. I'm loving that. That's good. Thank you very much. Once again, folks, if you're just tuning in, this is a space launch from Launchpad 39 Alpha at the Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, Florida. SpaceX, in collaboration with Axiom Space. Axiom Space is providing the crew, the all-private civilian crew, no NASA, no government employees involved in this. The pilot is a former NASA pilot, commander is a former NASA commander, the pilot, and then two financial industry folks involved, one from Canada, one from Israel. And this is a Falcon 9 launch vehicle along with, we're T-minus 5 minutes now, folks. Strong back retract is coming here shortly when they pull away some of the scaffolding there. Just moments away from the strong back retract. You should be able to see some of that on the screen here. Just moments away. The call has been made for the strong back retract. It's about a 1 minute long sequence that takes place. The clamp arms will come loose. Here they go. It has started. Strong back retract has begun. It's about a minute-long process. So, here we go, folks. We are almost ready for this launch. You got crowds in 3 different locations. Cape Canaveral, you've got crowds there. You can see the retraction taking place. Look on the right-hand side of the rocket. You can see it pulling back now. So you've got a crowd there at Cape Canaveral. You've got a crowd at Hawthorne, California, which is where SpaceX headquarters is at. You also got a crowd at the Axiom Space Center, which is in Houston, Texas. Less than 4 minutes to ignition here, folks, and launch. See it retracting now? It's pulling away. The tower is pulling away from the Falcon 9 rocket. 3.5 minutes to launch. Things are looking good here, folks. Beautiful, clear day in Florida. Everything is ready. Everything is ready now. Take myself off the camera there for a few minutes. LOX load is complete for stage 1. So you can see the Axiom affixed to the side of that. Cable still attached here. You can see that. We are very close to launch here, ladies and gentlemen. Very close. Dragon is on internal power. Dragon, of course, is the capsule. Look at the crowds there. SpaceX on the left in Hawthorne, California. On the right is Axiom. Well, it's not proof of concept. They've already launched people. So proof of concept would have been when SpaceX took crews up. Approaching 2 minutes to launch. On my mark, T-minus 2. Mark, T-minus 2. Yeah, it would be awesome to be in Florida right now at Cape Canaveral. Unfortunately, there was a launch the day after I left Cape Canaveral, which sucked. I would love to have been there for that launch. That would have been absolutely incredible. I've never been there for a launch. I need to plan to be there for a launch. It's an auto idle now. Startup will be coming shortly. 1 million pounds of propellant for this. They're up there for 8 days, the International Space Station. Less than 1 minute and 30 seconds, less than 90 seconds. This is privately funded private launch. Startup comes in just a few moments here, folks. Approaching 1 minute to launch. On my mark, it'll be T-1. And mark, T-1. FTS is armed. Falcon 9 is in startup. I'm going to turn on the mission launch station so you can hear the countdown now. Thanks to everyone tuning in.
Go for launch.
Go for launch.
SpaceX Endeavour, we acknowledge. Go for launch.
Crew Dragon acknowledges their go for launch.
T-minus 30 seconds.
We're under 30 seconds, folks. Here we go. Here we go. We'll do the countdown when we get down there. Excitement is building. T-minus 15.
T-minus 15 seconds.
And we'll do the countdown. T-minus 10.
10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Ignition.
We have ignition.
Stop. Go
And we have liftoff.
Dragon.
Go.
Speed Axiom 1.
Amazing.
Together, a new chapter begins. Godspeed AX-1.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Looking good. 30 seconds into flight. All systems nominal. Beautiful camera angle this time. Look at that.
Plus 38 seconds into
Light
this
that
historic
candle.
mission, flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9.
Range telemetry nominal.
There you go. There's a view from the mission.
Stage 1
Canaveral
throttle down.
Throttling down in the preparation for max dynamic pressure.
Look at her go. 1 minute since launch. We've got Max Q coming up now.
9 is supersonic.
Supersonic. Broke the sound barrier. 1,200 kilometers per hour and altitude 11 kilometers.
Max Q.
Max Q has been reached. Took a little bit longer to get Max Q than we expected. Main engine cutoff is next.
Engines coming back up to power.
1 Bravo.
Next, we have main engine cutoff about 2:35.
The crew calling out 1 Bravo should a escape situation arise. It tells the Dragon flight computer what profile to fly using the Super Draco engines. But everything is looking good on Falcon 9.
Looking beautiful here, folks. Looking absolutely beautiful here. There
We're
she
getting
goes.
nominal call-outs from all the engineers.
Look at that exhaust.
And a great view from the ground camera and the onboard cameras.
Evac chill underway.
Max Q, we've already had. Miko first stage
Beginning
main
to
engine
chill in
cutoff.
the second
is coming.
stage turbo pump in preparation for its ignition coming up in just over half a minute from now.
Already at 3,700 kilometers and climbing rapidly as we
Coming
escape
up
the
on about
atmosphere.
3.5 G's acceleration for the crew. We'll begin throttling down the Merlin engines to hold that level of acceleration.
I want them to get sick on the launch there. 2 minutes into flight here, folks.
That's event
2:30.
coming up. We're going to get main engine cut off
Stage
of the
1
main
throttle
engines.
down.
Stage 1 throttle down just occurred.
Get
so we don't
stage
give too many
separation
Gs.
and ignition of the second stage engine.
Main engine
For the
cutoff
throttle
in the
down
first
call
stage
out,
is coming
we're
up,
holding
and then the
3.5
second stage
Gs
will be
for the
lit.
crew.
2:35 into flight. Miko should occur any moment now. Main engine cutoff. There it is. Miko.
And Miko.
You can see it. The engine cut off. The second stage will ignite. There it goes. Yeah!
Copy 2 Alpha. Evac ignition.
And we have ignition for the second stage. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Successful stage separation ignition of the second stage engine. On the left, the titanium grid fins beginning to slowly deploy. Great views from the first stage camera. The first stage now begins a slow flip maneuver. You can see the white nitrogen gas plumes as we reorient for an entry back through the Earth's atmosphere a little bit later in the plus count. Second stage, we see the engine nozzle glowing red. Everything continuing to look good on the second stage.
Next main event is the entry burn for that Falcon 9 rocket coming back to Earth. You can see the titanium fins extended on there. You got two different speeds measured on there right now. You've got on the left-hand side, that's the stage 1, which is coming back to Earth. Stage 2, which is the engine you see on the right-hand side there with the Crew Dragon in space, is the speed. You can see different speeds, obviously. Looking beautiful. Bermuda Station has reported all things are nominal. So the Bermuda ground station is getting telemetry from the rocket descending back on the left-hand side there at 5,460 kilometers per hour. So that second stage is burning there, and that second stage will burn through 8 minutes and 48 seconds. We get second engine cutoff. This is a gorgeous launch. You can see the ocean there, the Atlantic, as the Falcon 9 descends back to Earth on the left-hand side, still coming down at quite a good pace, over 5,000 kilometers per hour. Altitude 167 kilometers, just a few seconds to drop a kilometer. On the right-hand side, the vessel is still gaining more speed, 9,400 kilometers per hour, altitude 190 kilometers. On its way to International Space Station. New Hampshire ground station has acquired telemetry from the rocket now. Got a drone ship. So this drone ship is a couple hundred miles out to sea. Second stage right-hand side looking great. Burning that engine, still going. Over 10,000 kilometers per hour now, 6,000 miles per hour, 11,000, an altitude of nearly 200 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. That second stage, that's where the Crew Dragon, the first ever all private sector mission and crew, ladies and gentlemen. The first stage, Falcon 9 rocket now down to approximately 150 kilometers above the Earth's surface. We are 6 minutes into flight here, folks. 6 minutes into flight. Bring myself back on the screen here. So there you go. We got about a minute and a half. About a minute and a half before the burns will take place on the first stage Falcon 9 rocket coming back. Entry burn will be coming up shortly. You can see that the second stage with the crew now is up to 13,000 kilometers per hour. And you'll notice that the Earth seems to be moving pretty fast as the rocket goes around. So the Falcon 9 rocket now is just 120 kilometers below Earth's surface, picking up speed. It will fire retro rockets to slow it down here as it gets closer. This is a proven concept here, worked very well for SpaceX, these reusable rockets. Trajectory is nominal, 15,000 kilometers per hour now for stage 2. And the crew has responded back to the ground station. The Falcon 9 rocket on the left-hand side, the little puffs you keep seeing coming out, that's nitrogen gas. There are thrusters used to slow it down, control movement. The grid fins also help adjust the attitude. Stage 1 entry burn startup is coming now. You notice the speed has gotten much faster. It'll slow down now. There it is. Stage 1 burn is on the left-hand side, folks. There you go. The speed will decrease rapidly now. You'll notice went from 7,600 kilometers. We're down now to just 6,000 kilometers per hour. That burn lasts for a bit more here. On the right-hand side, we see the stage 2 now up to nearly 20,000 kilometers per hour. We've gone from 7,000 to 4,000 kilometers per hour. And that burn is stopped. So that slowed it by 3,000 kilometers per hour, down just to 32 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Now, the atmosphere, which is denser, will help slow it down as it comes down now. But, that also plays a role. So that rocket is now just under 20 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. You can see on the other side, 23,000 kilometers per hour. Second engine cutoff is coming on the right-hand side. Second engine cutoff is coming up any moment here now. It's supposed to be at 8:48 in the mission, and we're at 8:36 right now. So look for that engine to shut down on the right-hand side there. Stage 1 is below the speed of sound now. 5 kilometers from the surface, approaching rapidly the Falcon 9 rocket. And that second engine cutoff is coming. So I'm going to bring on the mission control now. Here we go.
Dragon Endeavor there
Here we
on
go.
the right-hand side of your screen.
Look at the left-hand side there, folks.
Stage 1 landing burn.
700 meters. 600
Landing burn
meters.
has begun for the first stage.
Oh, that's an awesome view coming down on the pad. Let's see if the camera
great
works
news there.
on landing.
Dragon Endeavor.
400 meters.
Nominal orbit insertion.
200 meters. There, you can see it below. Look at him adjusting the titanium flaps. Here she comes, baby. Yeah, SpaceX.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. SpaceX Dragon.
Yes, that's the best camera shot we've ever had. Yes,
As
success.
you can see, this
Well
Falcon
done,
9
SpaceX.
has landed for the 5th time.
This rocket's
All the
5th
while,
time.
great commentary.
Wow.
there.
Confirmed.
Unbelievable.
Well, we can
Unbelievable.
confirm the landing.
9 minutes, 40 seconds into flight.
Also signal unexpected Cape.
Confirmed landing there of the first stage booster. Also, almost simultaneously, great news for the second stage. We heard that there was nominal orbit insertion for Crew Dragon Endeavor. There you can see a live view
T plus
inside
10
our
minutes since
Dragon.
launch, folks. So that's the second stage engine cutoff has occurred. First stage landing burn, the landing. And then we've got the Dragon separating from second stage in about 2 minutes. So that's the next thing we're waiting for is the Crew Dragon separating from the second stage. So we'll hang around for that, folks. Pretty cool, eh, Fleshin? That is pretty cool. Well done, SpaceX. We're at T plus 10 minutes, 27 seconds in this launch. They are locked at 27,000 kilometers per hour now in space, waiting for the separation from the second stage. Check out the wellies they're wearing. They're wearing wellies, man. Waiting for separation. Dragon separation is coming up here shortly, about 2 minutes away. Yes, Winding Turtle, it was not quite on target. Just waiting for the separation coming up. That's the last main feature of this particular launch. We should have that here shortly, folks. And then, so we have the second, Crew Dragon separates from the second stage rocket. And then about 45 seconds later, we have the nose cone sequence opening for the Crew Dragon. 200 kilometers above the Earth's surface at about 27,000 kilometers per hour. Getting ready for the stage separation. Here it's coming up. The Crew Dragon with the Axiom Space crew will separate from the second stage, which got it up in the orbit. Then the Crew Dragon will continue on to the International Space Station for an 8-day stay at the International Space Station. Thanks to the 40-plus people tuning in for this historic moment, folks. You've been part of history. This is the first ever all-private sector mission launch. Crewed, built by civilians. No government agency involved in this. No Soviets, no Chinese, no European space. There's the separation. There you go. We have Crew Dragon separation at 12:10, 12:12. That is an incredible camera angle there, folks. Absolutely incredible camera angle.
Falcon 9 team, welcome to space. Thanks for flying Falcon 9. Guys, enjoy your trip to that wonderful space station in the sky. Do some great research for us. We'll look to see you back here underground. Now stand by for some words from LD.
Launch director has a few
and
comments.
MLA and the rest of the Crew Endeavor. Glad we got to have some fun this morning. We'll probably be calling an early weekend over here at the Cape. Pass you over to Anna and the team. You'll be in good hands. Godspeed, Endeavor. Enjoy the rest of your flight. Cheers.
We should hear from Crew Dragon Endeavor.
Hey, Mark. It was a lot of fun. I venture to guess we had a little bit more than you did. We thank you and your launch team, Girth, you and the Falcon 9 team. It was a hell of a ride, and we're looking forward to the next 10 days.
Well, there you have it, folks. 13 minutes into the flight. Crew Dragon is separated now. You can see the second stage Falcon 9 rocket there floating back. And there's the crew inside the Endeavor Crew Dragon capsule. These are all the main events for this There you have it. Absolutely amazing. Really awesome stuff there, folks. Let's listen in for. They're going to lose signal.
The
They'll lose
Dragon
signal.
Endeavour on its way to the International Space Station. It has separated. There's a view
Dragon
inside.
SpaceX, we had nominal dehumidifier activation and service section Draco checkouts.
That's
There we
pretty
can
cool.
see over the shoulder of
SpaceX Endeavour, we copy, Arthur.
over the shoulder. Previously, Commander MLA was on the left, and pilot Larry Connor was on the right. Live view inside the cabin. They just got the okay to lift their visors.
All right. They've opened their visors now inside the capsule. In space, on their way to the International Space Station for an 8-day
All right.
stay and return to Earth.
So we can see that everyone is in space.
Yeah.
We can see that zero-G indicator floating around. Great view there of Dragon Endeavour. Now in space with the Axiom 1 crew on their way to the International Space Station.
Yeah, I mean, this is a day of firsts. You know, this is my first time getting to participate in a launch like this. This is a first for Axiom. I mean, this is a first for spaceflight. And it's just
a first for
wonderful
private
to see
industry.
such a picture-perfect launch.
It really was.
We saw the landing and we saw orbital or zero-G insertion at the same time. I mean, that was perfect.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to see. All right, well, as I just said, today's launch is one for the history
here we
books.
go,
So
woke.
to
Let's
punctuate
bring
this
in the Asian
milestone that
ladies.
NASA and commercial companies are able to achieve together, we go now to Kennedy Space Center, where Megan Cruz is with NASA's Kathy Leaders.
I am. I'm here right now with the Associate Administrator of NASA's Space Operations Mission Director. It's so great to have you here, Kathy. What did you think of the launch?
Oh my gosh, it's always like, you know, right in the bottom of my throat. I'm holding, can't breathe.
Yes.
But what a beautiful, beautiful sight.
Yeah.
So good to see it. I want to tell everybody working Artemis 1 wet dress,
Artemis.
we're off the range. We're off the range for Axiom 1 and we can get moving. But you always want to hear the engine cut off. You always want to hear that second stage engine's lighting. You always want to hear, you know, each of these stages, and we need to just keep carefully working through the different steps to get that crew there to the International Space Station safely.
Yeah. What does Axiom 1 represent? Axiom 1 and also future private astronaut missions to the International Space Station.
Hey, you know, NASA's original goal was to enable commercial industry. That was actually in our original Space Act agreement. And so here we are, you know,
Doing it.
60 years
60 years later, finally.
enabling that through our missions. And so I just feel like this is a culmination of 60 years of work for us. And here we are once again getting to see, and for the first time getting to have commercial, you know, private astronauts going to the International Space Station, and they'll get to see what our government, what they're calling professional astronauts doing their real work, but then also getting to do their work too. And it's another place where learning to peacefully work in space, I think, is moving us forward.
Yeah, so important. And you know, we just watched Axiom 1 lift off from that launch pad right there behind us. In a couple of weeks, we're going to see Crew 4 launch from that same launch pad. And then just right next to it, Pad 39B, we have
Artemis.
NASA's brand new space launch system. Can you recall a
SLS,
busier time
that's the
we've
Artemis
had here
mission to
at
the
Space
moon.
Coast? And how is
Largest
Kennedy Space
rocket
Center
ever made.
managing its new role as this multi-user spaceport?
So I think somebody else, Bob Cabana had this dream of a multi-user spaceport here. So I think he should be very, very proud of his KSE team, and Janet Petro and her team are obviously leading the way right now, because this is not easy to do. It's not easy to go make sure all of these people have all the capabilities and are obviously
And
working
safety
with our Air
measures.
Force sister agency there too, and making sure that all these launches get supported in a seamless way. Just an amazing job.
Yeah, a lot of juggling that has to happen.
Yep.
So, you know, I just talked about SLS. We are looking forward to the moon with that launch later this year. You know, why is it still so important to maintain a presence in low Earth orbit when we're looking towards the moon now?
Because the Chinese are doing
we
it.
still don't have everything figured out how to do things yet for the moon and Mars. And really, the cheapest place for us to see a differential gravity environment and for the long term is still LEO.
Yeah.
And so we've
Low
got to
Earth orbit,
continue
LEO.
to do these long duration flights, keep doing our medical protocols, keep doing our physical protocols, keep testing out our equipment through those long duration missions. It's the only place where we can do that right now.
Yeah.
And so we still need to be able to have this kind of a test bed for us to be checking out and proving our protocols, our research, our technology before you go put somebody in a rocket that's going to go to Mars, right? So just like always, we prepare, we get ourselves ready, and a low Earth orbit destination is a perfect place to do that.
And again, how does us fostering
Yeah, I've got that cap somewhere.
commercialization efforts in space, how does that free us up to pursue
the ones
these
I'll
other
be wearing
dreams that we
next.
have as an agency?
Artemis.
So, you know, the administrator today in the
course, I've got my
pre-mission
SpaceX
conference,
cap.
he said, you know, we right now are doing, this is our first step. We're working with a commercial company to have them come to our International Space Station. And we're
Yep.
learning to work together and figuring out how to work together. And this is going to be an important step for us because moving forward, we would actually like to now be able to buy a ride and time on orbit with a commercial company to be able to have them do that. And so this is the first step of their learning from us and us learning from them. And then in the future, you know, we're going to have space station for another 8 years, but we would like by the early 2030s for us to be flipping the roles and have our professional astronauts going up and checking and doing and focusing on the research and technology we need for exploration, but allowing commercial providers to be doing the hard work of maintaining the laboratory.
Kathy, what an exciting future. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and thank you again for being here.
There you go, folks. NASA, with its always woke approach, always woke. Let's find women. Let's find women of color. Let's put all those people out there. That's who we want to show the world. Yeah. Okay. So let's just get a final update here.
Station are ready. We're ready to get them on board. So their journey just started. They've got about 20 and a half hours until they're docked to the space station. Again, they're headed for the Zenith port on Node 2. That's the space-facing one on the very top. With that docking scheduled right now for 11:45 GMT on Saturday. That is just about 6:45 a.m. here in Houston, 4:45 a.m. for the teams out on the West Coast. Once they get there, we'll be able to get into all of the hatch open operations, welcome them on board. We expect the hatches to open up about 2 hours after that docking, maybe a little bit less, and then that welcome ceremony coming not too long after. So that'll do it for us for today, at least here from Houston. We're going to be joined again tomorrow by the SpaceX and the Axiom team as we walk you through the final stages of the rendezvous. And that coverage is going to be starting at 4:30 a.m. Central, 2:30 a.m. So an early morning, my friends over there on the West Coast. So with that, again, congratulations to the SpaceX and Axiom teams for getting this crew on orbit. We'll be ready for them tomorrow to get them on board the space station. I'll send it back now to the team at Hawthorne and over to Kate.
Team in Hawthorne, which is a SpaceX in Hawthorne, California, Axiom headquarters in Houston, Texas, and the launch facility at Cape Canaveral, Launch Pad 39 Alpha. You've just watched history in the making, ladies and gentlemen. The first ever all-private venture, private company building the launch vehicle and the capsule, a private company coming up with a crew, of course, one a former NASA astronaut with previous trips to the International Space Station, but nonetheless an entirely private venture, an American/Spaniard, another American, a Canadian, and an Israeli as part of the crew. And someone asked, what are they doing? Well, they're not doing anything. SpaceX controls the entire thing, so they're not like real astronauts. Sorry, I don't mean to hurt their feelings, but they're not actually piloting this stuff. It's actually being done by remote control. But anyway, they are off to the International Space Station. They'll arrive there at approximately 6:45 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. I will be covering rugby live from the HSBC 7 Series right after that. So I won't be covering that event because at 7 o'clock I'll be covering the 7 Series. At 8 o'clock I'll be covering the Stormers versus the Bulls on Rugby Ascendant. That's the big thing for tomorrow morning, folks. So there you have it. Thank you for watching History in the Making. SpaceX and Axiom, well done to both of them. And Godspeed to the crew, the Axiom crew on the Crew Dragon Endeavour capsule en route to the International Space Station, set for an arrival and docking on the top side of the International Space Station tomorrow morning at approximately 6:45 in the morning. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Be sure to smash the like button. Doesn't cost you anything but a moment of your time. Thank you for following us here. You know, space and astronomy is one of my things near and dear to my heart, and it's always fun to do this. It's an exciting time to be alive, and it's something worth getting up and getting out of bed for each and every day, is to watch these things taking place. And I guess I'm kind of lucky here that I've left active service, because these are happening during the daytime frequently, and I'm able to participate in many of them. So thank you. You feel free to leave a comment behind the video if you'd like, and thank you for your support. We're still trying to get more people from the space and astronomy and physics community on the program, but it's not an easy get, so I'll keep it up. Thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back for news on Chris Wyatt Reports in a little over 30 minutes on this channel. So Chris Wyatt Reports, the Indaba African News of the Day, coming up at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time, 6:15 or 18:15 South Africa, Central Africa time, and South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. Thank you for joining us, folks. We appreciate your support, and we'll catch you here, well, hopefully in 30 minutes, and we'll see you. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Congratulations to SpaceX and Axiom. Well done.